Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I've been living in the Philippines for nearly a decade now, and I talk about expat life, Filipino culture, dating, travel, and just what it's really like living here long term. Now today we've got something really interesting and important to talk about. Safety and policy measures in the Philippines, especially when it comes to tourists and foreigners like us, you and me. We guys want to stay living safe or traveling safe within the country. There's been a big proposal from the Department of Tourism recently about creating something called tourist courts. And there's also going to be a push for stronger police presence in popular tourist areas like Cebu. And as someone who's lived here for nearly a decade, I want to break this down in a real way. Not just repeating the headlines, but giving you my personal perspective as a foreigner living here long term. So is this good news? Does it really make the Philippines safer for foreigners and tourists? Or is this just another layer of bureaucracy that may never change anything? Let's talk about it. So first off, let's talk about this idea of tourist courts. On August 20th, DOT Secretary Cristina Frasco proposed that the Philippines set up a 24/7 tourist court. Now, what does that exactly mean? Basically, the idea is that whenever a foreigner or even a local Filipino tourist becomes a victim of a crime, their cases will be handled faster and more efficiently. Instead of waiting on months or even years for legal proceedings, these courts will prioritize their cases. For me, as an expat, this is a big deal because one of the challenges I've seen in the Philippines is that the justice system can move really slowly. I've seen stories of both foreigners and Filipinos about cases dragging on forever. And if you're a tourist on a limited stay, maybe just here for a week or two, what's the point of even filing a complaint if the case won't even move until you've already flown home? So in theory, tourist courts make a lot of sense. You'd give people confidence that justice can serve quickly, that crimes against tourists aren't just going to be swept under the rug. But here's my personal thought. The implementation is everything. I've been here long enough to know that sometimes great ideas get announced, but then they get bogged down in red tape. You've got the DOT, PMP, DLIG, and the DOH all involved in this. This is a lot of cooks in the kitchen, guys. If they really collaborate and push this through, it could be a game changer. If not, it could just end up being another announcement that fades away. So let's move on to the safety in Cebu and enhanced police presence. One of the biggest tourist hubs in the country, without a doubt, is Cebu. The Provincial Tourism Office there recently said they're going to strengthen their collaboration with the Philippines National Police to increase visible presence in the tourist areas. And honestly, this makes sense. If you've ever been to Cebu City, or especially areas like Mactan, Maobao, Malapascua, Oslob, these are all hotspots for foreigners and Filipinos alike. And yes, tourism brings money, of course, but it also brings crime, petty theft, scams, sometimes worse. The plan is to have more police-trained personnel stationed in these high-traffic areas, and not just in the obvious tourist places, but in even some of the more remote destinations. From my own experiences, I'll tell you, when you see more ununiformed officers around, it doesn't make you feel safer, even if nothing bad is happening. That visible presence is like a deterrent. Criminals think twice when they know there's a law enforcement nearby. But again, I think the real test is the execution. Will these officers actually be on patrol, visible, or will they just be there for show? Now let me give you a perspective from an expat that's been here for a long time. When I first moved to the Philippines, one of the most common questions I've got from my family back home was, is it safe there? And honestly, the answer is not a simple yes or no. The truth is, the Philippines can be as safe or as unsafe as anywhere else in the world. If you're street smart, if you don't go looking around for trouble, you're probably going to be fine. Most Filipinos are incredibly friendly, hospitable, and welcoming. But yes, crime happens, scams happen. Tourists get targeted sometimes because they just look like easy money. But I've seen both sides of the spectrum. I've had amazing experiences with locals who went out of their way to help me. And I've also had moments where I felt someone was sizing me up as an ATM. That's just a reality. So when I hear about tourist courts and more police in Cebu or anywhere else where there's a major city, I actually think it's a positive step. Because not only does it address actual safety, but it also addresses perception of safety. And the perception matters a lot in tourism. If foreigners feel safe, they'll come. If they don't, they won't. It's that simple. Now, I don't want to make this a big, red, rosy painting. Let's be real here. One of the biggest challenges in this country is the slow justice process. Some cases here can take years to resolve. Witnesses back out, evidence gets misplaced, hearings get delayed. It happens. That's not me bashing the country, that's just the reality of it. And I've seen it many, many times with tourists, expats living here, and even the locals. So if tourist courts are going to work, it should be something that's streamlined. Maybe something like dedicated judges or fast track procedures, or maybe even digital filings can make things move quicker. This is just my imagination, guys, and how I can see the bureaucracy moving forward in a faster way. Because otherwise, what good is a 24/7 tourist court if the cases still get stuck in the same bottlenecks? So why does this matter for tourists and expats like you and I? Well, tourism is huge for the Philippines. Millions of people come here every year for the beaches, the diving, the food, and the culture. And every crime against the tourists, whether it's a petty theft or something bigger, hurts the country's reputation. For us expats, this matters too. Because even if we're not tourists anymore, we still get lumped into that category. When crimes against foreigners are taken seriously, it reassures us all. It also gives Filipinos more confidence in their justice system. Because let's be real, it's not just tourists who get scammed or robbed. Locals deal with it too. If they can create a system that really responds to crime quickly, that's a win for everybody. So my final thoughts on this: do I think tourist courts and more police presence in cities like Cebu are a good idea? 100% yes. Do I think they'll solve everything overnight? Of course not. I'm realistic. I don't think it would happen overnight, but it is a good first step. Safety is a complex issue, but these are steps in the right direction, guys. As an expat that's been living here for so long, I've seen the country grow, adapt, and try new things. And honestly, I think this is part of the growth. It shows that the Philippines is listening, that they care about how tourists and foreigners feel. So if you're watching this as someone thinking about traveling here or even moving here, I'd say don't be scared off by the headlines. Just be smart, stay aware, and know that changes like these are being made to make your experience better. And for my long-term fellow expats out there, I'd love to hear what you think about this in the comments. Do you think tourist courts will actually work? Do you feel safer when there are more police around? Or does it make it feel like more show than substance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. If you found this discussion useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps my channel grow and get these conversations out there to more people. For expats, tourists, and even Filipinos who want to understand our perspective. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.